Female 50 present to me with restricted eye movement, mild proptosis of the left eye, and she has history of tooth extraction before 15 days and history of steroid taken since last 15 days for the same, and she is having mild complaint of the nasal discharge and nasal congestion. You can see her vision of the left eye is clear, but restriction of all movement related to oculomotor nerve are affected. You can see clearly ptosis, and this is the strip collected from her bag for the same. And this is the MRI of her showing bilateral ethmoid sinusitis with mucosal thickening on bilateral maxillary sinus, anteethmoid and postethmoid. And there is mild proptosis of the left eye on this MRI, and almost similar sinusitis, anteethmoid, postethmoid and maxillary sinus thickening is seen almost equal on both sides. So she is having mild pressure on the left eye with sensation of decreased vision on the left eye and severely restricted movement of the left eye. So I plan this bilateral phase with orbital decompression on the left side. The classical presentation of the third nerve, isolated third nerve palsy are diplopia, pupil mydriasis and upper eyelid ptosis as seen in this patient. And all movement are affected related to superior, medial, inferior recti and inferior oblique muscle. As there is, you can see in this patient clearly, there is lateral movement of the left eye is there. It means there is intact sixth nerve is also there. And some upper movement are also there which is related to the superior oblique which is supplied by the fourth nerve. So only muscle affected are related to the oculomotor nerve. So there is only palsy, that is oculomotor nerve palsy with classical mydriasis there. It means if mydriasis is there, it is mostly rule out the diabetic and hypertension. As this case doesn't have any history of diabetes. She has history of steroid taken after tooth extraction for 15 days. Rest is she is not immunocompromised. Classically, third nerve impairment is associated with down and out appearance as in this case. This eye position reflects the unopposed action of depression and abduction of the globe, which are governed by superior oblique muscle, which is mainly supplied by fourth cranial nerve, and lateral rectus muscle movement are there, that is lateral movement of eye is there, which is supplied by the sixth nerve. Localized and isolated third nerve palsy, particularly on cause of down and out position of the ipsilateral eye, is relatively straightforward when there is complete involvement of the levator palpebrae superioris muscle, which causing ptosis, complete paralysis of innervated extraocular muscles, and complete pupillary mydriasis. In reality, third nerve palsy are often incomplete, result in partial deficit that may be relatively subtle and easily overlooked. As you can see in this case, it seemed to be partial only. For this reason, it is imperative to carefully establish a good history and perform a thorough examination to localize third nerve palsy lesion, which may be herald vision and life-threatening problems. As MRI doesn't show any aneurysm or any space-occupying lesion in the brain, so this patient mostly present with sinusitis and isolated nerve palsy, third nerve palsy to me, and biopsy is awaited. It may be fungal or bacterial. Let's see what will come out. The step of endoscopic orbital decompression. Surgery begins with sphenoethmodectomy. Then you have to identify the lamina papyracea and open this lamina papyracea with the spoon curate. After opening the lamina papyracea, the fragment of the lamina are elevated and removed with the elevator of Blakesley forceps. The medial floor of orbit is down fractured and removed. It depends how much you want proptosis reduction. If mild is there, then you can only decompress this median wall. If moderate proptosis is there, then you have to decompress the floor of the orbit also. So 2 wall decompression in moderate and 1 wall compression in the mild proptosis. So this patient having mild proptosis, that's why I'm doing this only medial wall of this orbit decompression. If it has been moderate proptosis, then I have removed the floor of the orbit also. So then it become the 2 wall decompression up to the infraorbital bundle or canal. So this is mild case of proptosis, so that's why only 1 wall decompression is done. After doing this, then we have to cut the periorbita from posterior to anterior direction. If only 1 wall fracture is there, you can only do without sling, and if moderate is there, then you have to keep sling and make 2 parallel incision in the periorbita. So sling will help the prevention of median rectus medialization, prevention of diplopia. So you can keep sling after keeping 2 parallel incisions. And this is the report showing non-specific chronic sinusitis leading to this ethmodytis with leading to this isolated third nerve palsy. And this is the 5th day of this patient. You can see clearly there is movement and intact on the 5th day. So all movements come, only little bit ptosis is there.